This is a professional workspace, not a nursery, James Sterling barked, his voice cutting like a blade through the glass-walled conference room of Sterling Solutions Manhattan headquarters. Maria Torres, a 32-year-old Latina single mother, stood frozen, her heart sinking as her world unraveled. She had brought her 7-year-old daughter, Sophia, to the office out of sheer necessity, and now she was being publicly fired for it. James, the CEO, didn't stop at words. He raised his phone, recording her humiliation with a smug grin, later posting the video online to flaunt his authority. He thought he'd crushed her, but Maria, fueled by love for her daughter and a fire for justice, would become his undoing. Before we dive into this powerful story, drop a comment to let us know where you're watching from. Your thoughts mean the world to us. The pre-dawn silence of Maria's cramped Brooklyn apartment was shattered by Sophia's labored wheezing. The 7-year-old lay pale, her olive skin drained, her small chest heaving with each breath as a severe asthma attack gripped her. Her dark eyes, usually bright with curiosity, were clouded with exhaustion. Maria had been awake all night, her hand clasped around Sophia's, counting every faint inhale, her heart pounding with fear. She'd administered the inhaler, tried warm compresses, and whispered soothing words in Spanish, but the coughing fits persisted, sharp and relentless. The faint glow of a street lamp seeped through the window, casting shadows on the peeling wallpaper, a stark reminder of the fragile life Maria fought to hold together. The October wind bit at Maria's face as she stepped into the chilly Brooklyn morning, Sophia cradled in her arms, wrapped in a faded blanket that once belonged to her grandmother, Abuela Rosa. The streets were cloaked in darkness, save for the neon flicker of a bodega sign. Maria, tall and slender, bore the weight of years of relentless work. Her dark brown skin showed traces of sleepless nights, but her deep-set brown eyes burned with determination. Her curls, neatly tied despite the chaos, reflected her need for control in a world that often felt unyielding. Her job at Sterling Solutions, a prestigious consulting firm in Manhattan, was her lifeline, providing health insurance that kept Sophia's chronic asthma manageable, a shield against a system that seemed designed to break them. Today was critical. Maria was set to present the Hudson account, a pivotal moment in her 5-year tenure at Sterling. The project could secure her promotion to senior analyst, a role she'd earned through countless late nights, sacrificing bedtime stories with Sophia to perfect spreadsheets. As a Latina in a corporate world dominated by privilege, Maria knew she had to work twice as hard for half the recognition. With her babysitter unavailable and no family nearby, she had no choice but to bring Sophia to the office. She adjusted the blanket around Sophia's small frame, her daughter's head resting on her shoulder, and whispered, "We'll get through this, mi amor." The subway rattled toward Manhattan, Sophia's uneven breathing blending with the train's hum, as Maria rehearsed her presentation, her mind torn between ambition and worry. Sterling Solutions headquarters towered over Midtown Manhattan, its glass facade gleaming under the morning sun. The conference room was sleek, polished oak tables, modern chairs, and windows showcasing the skyline. Maria settled Sophia in a corner chair, tucking the blanket around her and handing her a coloring book of phoenixes, Sophia's favorite symbol of rebirth. Sophia's faint wheezes filled the silence, each one a stab to Maria's heart. She straightened her blazer, smoothed her curls, and began her presentation, her voice steady despite the weight of worry. Her slides were meticulous, detailing a strategy to secure a multi-million-dollar client. Her colleagues nodded, impressed, but Maria's eyes kept darting to Sophia, counting each breath. Across the table, Emily Carter, a senior consultant with sharp features and blonde hair, glanced at Sophia, her blue eyes softening with empathy. Maria noted the look, a rare flicker of humanity in a room of guarded ambition. But the moment shattered when James Sterling stormed in. A tall man in his late 50s, his tailored suit and silver hair exuded authority, but his icy green eyes and set jaw betrayed a ruthless edge. Known for his cold leadership, James saw compassion as weakness and thrived on control. He'd built Sterling's reputation on navigating crises with an iron hand, his disdain for vulnerability legendary. He slammed his hand on the table, cutting Maria off mid-sentence. "What the hell is this, Maria? This is an office, not a nursery." The room froze, a chilling silence descending. Maria's face burned with shame, but she stood tall. "Sir, my daughter is sick. I had no one to watch her." Her voice was calm, but inside, her heart pounded. James's eyes narrowed, his voice dripping with contempt. "I don't care. You're fired. Immediately." The words hit like a physical blow, crushing 5 years of dedication. Her colleagues avoided her gaze, their silence deafening. Even Emily, who had shown sympathy, stared at her hands, torn between indignation and fear for her own position. Sophia's sudden coughing fit broke the silence, sharp and desperate. Maria rushed to her, fumbling for the inhaler in her bag. "Breathe with me, mi amor," she whispered, guiding Sophia through slow inhales, her hands trembling. James scoffed, gesturing grandly. "This is proof single mothers don't belong in high-level roles. Their focus is fragmented." He motioned to security. "Escort her out. Take her badge and laptop." As Maria packed her desk, her hands shaking with rage and humiliation, she caught James raising his phone, recording her exit with a smug grin. He was likely planning to share his decisive leadership online, a trophy of his power. That arrogance ignited a fire in Maria. Holding Sophia close, she walked out with her head high, each step a defiant vow. In the elevator, she whispered, "I'll show them what happens when they underestimate a Latina. Mi amor." A faint smile crossed her lips, etched with resolve. Back in Brooklyn, Maria sat on her worn couch, Sophia asleep beside her, the inhaler clutched in her small hand. James had posted the video on LinkedIn by noon, captioning it, "Leadership requires tough calls. No distractions in excellence." It went viral, amassing thousands of likes from those praising his strength. But a wave of outrage simmered beneath, with hashtags like "No more Sterling injustice" trending on X. For Maria, the fallout was immediate and brutal. Sterling canceled her health insurance, her phone buzzing with notifications confirming the cutoff. With only $280 in her account and Sophia's $200 inhaler looming, panic clawed at her chest. She stared at the peeling paint on her apartment walls, memories of Sophia's first asthma attack flooding back. 3 years old, gasping in a hospital room, Maria begging the doctors to save her. She couldn't let that fear win again. The apartment was a patchwork of their life together. Sophia's drawings of phoenixes covered the fridge, each one a testament to their resilience. Maria remembered the nights she'd spent teaching Sophia about their heritage, sharing stories of Abuela Rosa, who'd fought unfair bosses as a seamstress in the Bronx. Rosa's words echoed, "The powerful always leave a trail. You just have to find it." Those words had carried Maria through her own struggles, growing up in a cramped Bronx tenement, helping Rosa balance the family budget at 10, watching her mother, Elena, lose her job as a nurse's aide for being over-emotional at 16. Those memories fueled Maria now, a fire burning beneath her fear. This wasn't just about Sophia. It was about every woman silenced, every dream crushed by those like James. Late that night, under the flickering glow of a desk lamp, Maria opened her aging laptop, its fan whirring loudly. She combed through James's LinkedIn post, saving comments, public filings, and press releases. She didn't know what she was looking for, only that there was a crack somewhere, a trail Rosa had promised. Her childhood in the Bronx came rushing back, nights studying by candlelight when the power was cut, Rosa's calloused hands sewing late into the night, Elena's tearful apologies for not providing more. Maria had learned early to outsmart a world stacked against them. She saved screenshots, piecing together a puzzle she couldn't yet fully see, her fingers moving with purpose. The next morning, Maria called Ana Rivera, a former colleague in Sterling's HR department. Ana, a quiet woman in her 40s with a meticulous nature, had always seemed uneasy about Sterling's practices. "Ana, it's Maria. I need help with some records," Maria said, her voice steady despite her desperation. Ana hesitated, her loyalty to the company warring with her guilt. She'd seen women pushed out for flimsy reasons, single mothers, minorities, anyone who didn't fit James's mold. Finally, she sighed. "Okay, Maria, I'll help." From her home office, Ana accessed Sterling's document system, pulling termination records from the past 3 years. When the data appeared on Maria's screen, shared through a secure link, her knuckles whitened on the mouse. The pattern was chilling. Most terminations targeted women, particularly minorities and single mothers, with vague reasons like team fit issues or performance concerns. Maria's heart pounded, a mix of anger and clarity washing over her. This wasn't personal. It was systemic. Maria needed more than patterns. She reached out to Lucas Bennett, a private investigator she'd helped years ago. When Lucas faced a custody battle for his daughter, Lily, Maria had spent hours researching legal loopholes, securing his case. Now, she needed his skills. "Lucas, it's Maria Torres. I need your help," she said, her voice urgent. Lucas's reply was immediate. "You saved my family. Now it's my turn." A single father with a grizzled beard and a knack for uncovering secrets, Lucas had seen corporate cruelty firsthand. His cousin had been fired for taking maternity leave. Using Ana's leads, Lucas hacked into Sterling's servers, navigating firewalls with precision. He found a hidden folder labeled Personnel Notes, containing candid photos of employees, derogatory comments about their personal lives, and baseless assumptions about their reliability. One note about Maria read, "Single mom, likely to miss deadlines due to childcare." Lucas also uncovered a Slack channel called The Gatekeepers, where James and his inner circle mocked employees and planned terminations. "Torres is a liability. Too distracted," one message read. Maria's fists clenched as Lucas recounted the findings over a secure call. This was beyond discrimination. It was predatory. Lucas dug deeper, uncovering financial irregularities, executives funneling bonuses to loyalists while cutting benefits for others. The trail Rosa spoke of was real, and it was ugly. Maria's days became a blur of hospital visits and late-night research. Sophia's asthma required frequent checkups, and the Brooklyn Clinic's waiting room became a second home. The linoleum floors, the hum of fluorescent lights, the anxious faces of other parents. It was a world Maria knew too well. She'd sit with Sophia, coloring phoenixes together, whispering stories of strong women like Dolores Huerta, who fought for workers' rights. "You're strong like them, mi amor," Maria would say, brushing a curl from Sophia's forehead. Sophia's small smile was a spark in the darkness. One day, in the clinic's cafeteria, Maria met Carla Diaz, a woman in her 30s with tired eyes and a warm smile. Carla had been fired from Sterling for taking time off to care for her autistic son, Mateo. Over lukewarm coffee, Maria shared her findings. Carla's eyes lit up. She'd kept incriminating emails from her time at Sterling, including a voice memo from an HR meeting where James dismissed diversity concerns as woke nonsense. Driven by instinct, she'd held on to this evidence, sensing it might matter one day. Maria, Lucas, and Carla formed a group they called Rise Up, meeting in Maria's apartment under the glow of Sophia's phoenix drawings. The phoenix, a symbol of rebirth, was Sophia's obsession. She'd drawn dozens since her first hospital stay, each one a testament to their resilience. Maria reached out to 3 other victims. Elena, a black engineer fired for attitude after returning from maternity leave. Priya, a single mother dismissed as unreliable after her son's illness. And Hannah, a Native American woman labeled disruptive for challenging management. The women gathered around Maria's small kitchen table, the air thick with shared pain and resolve. Elena spoke of the microaggressions she'd endured, Priya of the sleepless nights worrying about her son, Hannah of the cultural erasure she'd faced. Their voices were fierce, united by a shared fire. They swapped stories of humiliation, of dreams deferred, of children they fought to protect. This wasn't just their fight. It was for every woman crushed by a system that valued profit over humanity. The meetings were intense, often stretching late into the night. Maria would brew coffee, the aroma mixing with the scent of Sophia's crayons. The women debated strategies, how to organize the evidence, whom to trust, how to protect themselves from retaliation. Elena, with her engineering precision, organized the data into spreadsheets, highlighting patterns of discrimination. Priya, a former paralegal, reviewed the legal implications, warning of potential loopholes. Hannah, a community organizer, suggested reaching out to advocacy groups. Lucas provided updates on his findings, his voice grim as he described the depths of Sterling's corruption. Carla, ever the optimist, kept morale high, sharing stories of Mateo's progress to remind them why they fought. Maria led with quiet strength, her love for Sophia anchoring her. She'd look at Sophia's drawings, taped to the walls, and feel Rosa's spirit urging her forward. Maria's childhood memories flooded back during these nights. She remembered sitting with Rosa at their Bronx kitchen table, learning to stretch every dollar, listening to stories of factory protests. Rosa had been fired for organizing a walkout, her defiance a lesson in courage. Maria also thought of Elena, her mother, who'd lost her job for advocating for patients, her tears a silent vow to do better for Maria. Those memories mingled with newer ones, nights studying by candlelight, helping neighbors navigate welfare forms, teaching Sophia to read by flashlight when the power was out. Maria's tears fell silently, Sophia's soft snores her anchor. The group compiled evidence, Anna's termination records, Lucas's hacked files, Carla's emails, and stories from Elena, Priya, and Hannah. Each piece fueled their resolve, their anger a collective flame. James, oblivious to the storm brewing, posted another video, this time firing Emily Carter, the colleague who had shown Maria sympathy, for taking leave to care for her sick toddler. Emily's blog, Empowering Women, My Journey at Sterling Solutions, had praised the company's family-friendly culture. The hypocrisy sparked outrage, with Daugor Nasser Sterling hypocrisy trending on X. Emily, furious, contacted Maria, her voice shaking with betrayal. "I believed in them," she said. "I was wrong." She joined Rise Up, bringing internal emails that contradicted Sterling's public stance on inclusivity. One email from James read, "We prioritize efficiency, not sob stories." The group's evidence grew, a towering stack of digital files and handwritten notes. Rise Up's meetings became a ritual, held in Maria's apartment or a quiet Brooklyn cafe. Sophia often sat nearby, coloring her phoenixes, listening as the women planned. Maria taught Sophia about resilience, reading her stories of strong women like Rosa Parks and Dolores Huerta. weaving lessons of courage into bedtime tales. One night, Sophia asked, "Mama, are you a hero like them?" Maria smiled, brushing a curl from Sophia's forehead. "I'm just a mom who loves you, mi amor. That's enough." But Sophia's question lingered, pushing Maria to fight harder. The group faced setbacks, fear of retaliation, doubts about their evidence's impact, moments of exhaustion. But Maria's resolve held them together. She'd walk to the bodega for snacks, the familiar jingle of the bell grounding her, reminding her of the community she fought for. The group sent their evidence, termination records, gatekeepers, chats, financial irregularities, and videos, to Truth Unveiled, a national investigative show known for exposing corporate corruption. Maria spent hours drafting their submission, her hands trembling as she described her firing, Sophia's asthma, and the systemic abuse they'd uncovered. The show's producers responded within days, eager to feature the story. When the episode aired, it was an earthquake. James's face filled screens across the country, his cruel comments and files laid bare. Clips of Maria's and Emily's firings played alongside gatekeepers' messages, revealing a culture of misogyny and discrimination. Viewers saw James mocking single mothers, calling them dead weight, and executives laughing about dodging lawsuits. The public's reaction was swift and fierce. Sterling's stock plummeted, shareholders demanded accountability, and lawsuits flooded in. James was forced to resign, his inner circle sacked, their careers in ruins. Other companies named in the chats faced scrutiny, sending shockwaves through the corporate world. Maria watched the broadcast from her apartment, Sophia curled up beside her. The weight of their victory mixed with the pain of reliving her humiliation. She thought of hospital nights, clutching Sophia's hand, fearing she'd lose her. She thought of Rosa, of Elena, of every woman silenced. This was their triumph, a crack in the system made visible. Sterling vowed to rebuild, replacing leadership and committing to reform. But the process was grueling, with groups like Rise Up holding them accountable. Maria received calls from reporters, activists, and victims, each story echoing her own. She listened, her resolve deepening. Weeks later, Elena called, her voice excited. "Maria, Sterling offered your job back, higher position, triple salary." Maria stood in a Brooklyn park, watching Sophia chase a butterfly, her laughter a melody against the city's hum. She smiled softly. "I didn't fight to go back. I fought for justice." The offer tempted her, stability for Sophia, a chance to breathe, but she'd seen too much, felt too deeply. Her path was elsewhere. Maria founded the Horizon Alliance, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting single mothers and minorities facing workplace discrimination. Emily, Carla, Elena, Priya, and Hannah joined, each bringing their skills. Emily's writing, Carla's advocacy, Elena's engineering, Priya's legal knowledge, and Hannah's community organizing. Lucas served as legal advisor, his investigative skills guiding their efforts. The organization grew, offering legal aid, workshops, and pro bono lawyers. Sophia, now healthier, drew phoenixes for the office walls, each one a symbol of rebirth. Maria framed one above her desk, a reminder of their journey. The Alliance launched programs, scholarships for single mothers, mentorship for minority women, legal clinics to fight unfair terminations. Maria spoke at rallies, her voice steady, her story inspiring thousands. She thought of Rosa, whose strength lived in her, and Elena, whose sacrifices paved the way. The Alliance became a beacon, its Brooklyn office a hub of hope. Maria met with victims, their stories mirroring her own, mothers fired for childcare, minorities dismissed for cultural fit. She listened, offering resources and a voice. The organization expanded, opening offices in Chicago, Los Angeles, and Atlanta. Carla became a motivational speaker, her story of raising Mateo inspiring audiences. Emily advocated for policy changes, testifying before Congress. Elena designed tech for the Alliance's outreach. Priya led legal battles, and Hannah built community networks. Anna, guilt-ridden but redeemed, joined an ethical firm, vowing to uphold fairness. The Alliance's work inspired the Maria Torres Act, passed in 2027, mandating workplace protections for women and minorities. Sterling became a reform model, under scrutiny from groups like Horizon, its new leadership implementing diversity training and transparent hiring. Maria's days were full, her apartment no longer a place of despair, but a home filled with purpose. She and Sophia developed rituals, Saturday walks to the Brooklyn Bridge, tossing pennies into the river, making wishes for the future. Sophia, now 12, was thriving, her asthma controlled, her spirit bright. She wanted to be a lawyer, inspired by her mother's fight. James, his reputation in tatters, was seen years later handing out resumes outside a Brooklyn grocery store, his tailored suits replaced by a worn jacket. Maria passed him one rainy day, Sophia skipping beside her. Their eyes met briefly, his filled with defeat, hers calm and unshaken. She didn't gloat. She'd risen above, redefining success on her terms. The Horizon Alliance grew nationally, its impact felt in courtrooms, boardrooms, and communities. Maria's fight had secured justice not just for herself, but for countless others, a legacy of courage and rebirth. Years later, as Maria walked to the Horizon Alliance's Brooklyn office, Sophia ran ahead, her laughter echoing through the streets. The city buzzed around them, alive with possibility. Maria paused, looking at the skyline, the weight of her journey settling into a quiet pride. She'd turned pain into power, humiliation into hope. The best revenge wasn't payback. It was becoming someone the powerful could no longer define. Join us for more inspiring stories by hitting like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell for daily lessons and heartfelt stories.